Speaking of it's wrong no matter who does it, Lacey Green, somebody who I don't often like to promote because sometimes she can be misguided. Sometimes she can be a bit of a bitch. Uh, Case in point to some degree the way that she has been when even the Amazing Atheist tried to extend an olive branch and try to make things better, and she wanted nothing of it. But that's personal choice and personal politics, and at this point in time, I don't care. But she did talk about the dangers of looking to 50 Shades of Grey. Yes, I'm talking about 50 Shades of Grey as some sort of relationship guide and how damaging that can be. Some scoff, some laugh at the idea of like, it's a book. What badness can it truly do? Well, I'll tell you what badness. Man arrested for brutal 50 Shades inspired sex with girlfriend. A couple may have taken their passion for 50 Shades of Grey a little too far. Stephen Locke was charged with sexual assault after a tryst with a woman went terribly wrong, but Locke defended himself, claiming he and his lover had signed a sex slave contract, just like Anna and Kirsten did. He admitted they were trying to copy scenes from 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is gonna get messy. Because now I've got to drag BDSM into this. Now I've got to sit here and try to tell you that BDSM does not work that way. In fact, I'm going to try to post some links in the underbar to guidelines, real guidelines about real engagements of BDSM, which is what 50 Shades of Grey is trying to be and unfortunately miserably failing at doing so. Let me make this clear. This is not what BDSM is. What they were doing was terribly, terribly misguided, and I agree on the sexual assault charges, because that's what 50 Shades of Grey is. It's not a healthy relationship. It's sexual. Why am I even trying to explain this? You should understand this. Anybody with a rational mind and in even a infantile, rudimentary understanding of what BDSM is. 50 Shades of Grey is not that. So you probably want all the sordid details. Well, all right then. According to testimony, the woman got a tattoo reading "Property of Stephen Locke." Well, that was mistake number one. People who get tattoos of each other's names generally don't last long. Sorry, bad joke, I know. I'll punish myself later. She says when she showed it to him, he disapproved of the design and, well, punished her. Locke claims, "It was supposed to be kinky fun. I didn't want her to cry." Oh dear God, this is where it starts, folks. You think we're being alarmist, and then this shit happens. Pardon my language. Oh, it's all fun and kinky games until someone cries, right? Locke reportedly tied a rope around his lover's neck and beat her with the rope for about 15 seconds. Oh, jeez. His lover claims he hit her so hard she could hear the rope whistling, and she screamed. Locke said in court that if she remembered to say the safety word "red," he would have stopped, but she'd forgotten it. Well, that's not entirely his fault, to be completely honest. He says he eventually caught on that it was not so consensual. Was it the screaming? And stopped. For her part, the woman acknowledged she consented to some role play, but did not expect for it to get quite so rough. "I knew that was coming, but I didn't know it was going to use his whole force," which you're not supposed to, "and whack me with it," the rope. After the attack, tryst, whatever, she texted a friend to say, he got me chained up like a dog, whipped the shit out of me, pardon my language. Anyway, Stephen Locke got off. I mean, he was found not guilty. But anyways, the point is, because he convinced the court that he believed the beating was consensual. Well, okay, let's be fair. Let's be biased. Let's be fair. Let's be balanced. Let's be honest. She forgot the safety word. He was wrapped up. He should have been a little bit more attentive. But again, she forgot the safety word. Now, if she starts screaming and he doesn't realize the sincerity of it, though, after a while, if he doesn't stop within a certain amount of time or of the starting of the scream, there's still a gray area there. 50 Shades of Gray, gray area. Sorry. Unintended funny there. But okay, no. If he didn't understand it at the time, he still is doing it wrong. BDSM, you don't just try BDSM, okay? There's guidelines. There's places you can go to. There's services that you can pay for. Not prostitution, but mistresses. People who won't have sex with you, but will do the act, will teach you, will mentor you, for gosh sakes. Because no, you're not supposed to use your freaking full force. Now, he's stupid. They both kind of were stupid. They went into this thinking that 50 Shades of Grey was a manual for BDSM. It's not. And had the exact effect that we warned people about. BDSM is not something you just do. You gotta plan this shit. You gotta figure this out. You've gotta work with your slave if you're gonna do the slave-dominant contract and the slave-dominant relationship, or otherwise it has the ability to become abusive. Not purposefully so, not like, oh, I purposely want to hurt you, but you don't use your full force. Unless that's what your partner wants, in which case you ease into it. It's not like she comes home and you just deck her. That's not how this... God dang frickin' Shades of Grey. I'm just finding it weird that it's this couple. It's almost... I guess by the titling, it seems as though it's more like it was the guy's idea, but it's not likely to be. But for gosh sakes, people, if you like Shades of Grey, fine, okay, I get it, good, fine. But go to clubs, read, research, find out what actual BDSM is, not the Hollywood version, not the novelized versions, which are usually sensationalized, overdrawn, and in this case, it's abuse, what was in 50 Shades of Grey. There's no other way to say it, period. But I'm getting off on a rant here. So, okay, I agree with the not guilty, okay? Let's get this straight. The jury was right in this case, you know? We can't fault her for not the safety word, but the safety word's there for a reason. But usually you think of a backup so that if you forget the first safety word, you remember the second safety word, chances are, and you can stop it. And so that it doesn't become something that needs to get into court, although I'm glad this did. We told you this book was dangerous. We told you not to try the stuff in the book. Did you listen? No, you didn't. You took it too far. You're still an idiot, and your ignorance of BDSM is personally offensive to myself, somebody who has been, and in the past, a practitioner of safe, consensual, and responsible BDSM. Don't try the book, people. If you want something exciting, there are clubs. There are places you can go. There are services you can hire. There are people you can anonymously talk about. Register for FetLife, for God's sake. People will teach you how to do this not stupidly. People will teach you how to do this so that both of you enjoy it. People will teach you that 50 Shades of Grey is an abusive nightmare and should not be practiced by anyone. Period. So that's my thing on that. Not guilty, fine. Yes, okay. But you're still guilty of being an ignorant idiot and launching headlong into something you have obviously no understanding about. And stop it. This book is not worth beating people up over, literally or figuratively.